Everything's an algorithm. Everything has a certain language, a certain set of actions, set of beliefs. Every in-group, social setting, social hierarchy, whatever it might be, Instagram, YouTube, starting a business, running ads, it all has an algorithm. There's a certain language you have to speak, a certain set of actions that you have to perform, a certain narrative that you have to believe, that you have to recite. And it's only until you understand this algorithm that you will be accepted into this whatever niche group it is, whatever particular social setting you're in. And the best way to succeed in these groups is to learn and understand the algorithm. Learn to speak the language, to wear the clothes, to do the actions. And utilize the algorithm to your advantage to be able to climb that corporate ladder. That's what LARPing is, man. LARPing is literally just understanding the algorithm in whatever group you're in and utilizing that algorithm to climb, to ascend the social hierarchy. I worked a corporate job for a while, and the algorithm in that was the language, the follow up, see you later, touch base, circle back, the email sign offs, the Teams messaging and the Outlook emails, and I can go on and on. And the algorithm was also the clothes you had to wear, the business casual, the suit and ties, the coffee chats were the actions you had to take, the networking and the LinkedIn posts. And the only way to ascend in that realm, in that world, was to do all of that and to be the best person, to utilize the algorithm to their advantage. Likewise, in my family, I just did my little family reunion, and there's always gossip, there's always drama. I have a huge family, and it's not even my blood-related family, it's a lot of my stepdad's family. And let me just tell you this, he's the youngest of 7, and my stepdad's pretty freaking old, so there's like grandkids, great-grandkids. There might even be a couple of great-great-grandkids, and every year I'd forget some people's names. And I'm just like, hey, what's up, man? What's up, bro? Like that sort of shit. And, there's a certain side of the family that's super hyper intellectual, PhDs, professors, lawyers, that sort of shit. And then on the other side is this more redneck, blue collar, for lack of a better term, hicks. And either side kind of bash heads because they're like, the hicks are like these intellectuals are just like freaking douchebags, and then the intellectuals are like, these hicks, man, they don't understand my shit. They don't understand. They're basically subhuman because they're just not in each other's in groups, because there's different languages that they have to speak. There's different actions that they take, different lifestyles, man. And if one were to want to join the other group, they would have to appear a certain way, LARP, as being a part of that group. They would have to learn the algorithm and understand the lingo to then be a part of the in-group and then ascend that social hierarchy within that group via the utilization of the algorithm. Okay? And thinking about this and understanding that there is an algorithm to everything, every social setting, that there is some sort of social hierarchy in whatever group it is. It could be the jocks in high school. It could be your freaking chess club. It could be philosophy majors. It could be like actual Instagram or YouTube algorithms. you kind of come to the realization that there is no such thing as individuality, that it does not exist. Not if you want to be a part of society. Because if you're a part of society, if you have any sort of relationship with friends or family or colleagues, then you sort of have to put on a mask and understand the algorithm and speak the language and do the actions that adhere to that in-group's narrative. You have to LARP as being a part of that group. And that starts with understanding the fucking algorithm, bro. And in the best way, arguably the only way, to navigate the world as a member of society. You know, I'm not like Henry David Thoreau. I'm not trying to go in the woods and just be a loner. You know, maybe one day I'm in this freaking box, but I digress. If I don't want to be Henry David Thoreau and I want to be a thriving member of society and I have a job and I have a relationship with friends and I have a relationship with my family, then I have to kind of LARP and put on a mask in any of those situations because I have a different relationship with my friends than I do with my family, than I do with my colleagues. And that said, essentially, there's a different algorithm for each group. There's a different language, there's a different set of actions that they ascribe to me, that they ascribe to being a part of that group, rather. And then this version that they have of me exists in their minds as being a part of XYZ group. You know, it's like being a moderate, being in the middle of the political spectrum, or being apolitical. I don't involve myself in fucking anything because I don't want to. But you have friends that are hardcore MAGA. You have friends that are hardcore libs. And they might be fucking annoying as shit, but they're your boys, you know? And you understand that there is a set language, that there is a narrative that they believe. And to be able to navigate that conversationally, you don't want to touch on certain things. You don't want to say certain buzzwords that set them off because you're going to get stuck in some fucking political rant that you don't want to be in. And then you're just drunk at a bar talking about politics with someone who knows a lot more than you and is extremely biased one way or another. The best thing you can do is to be perspicacious, be extremely perceptive of the situation, the group, the social hierarchy, and understand its algorithms, understand the language that they speak, the actions that they take to be a part of that group. Yeah. And understanding the narrative that they believe to be reality. So be perspicacious, understand the algorithm, and if you want to succeed, if you want to be a part of something, if you want to assimilate into some sort of group, then you have to fucking LARP. You have to start LARPing.